we'll have done real well against them here.
Are they a similar team to last year in the way they play and the kind of personnel they have, do you think?
I think so. I think they're real similar. They're a little banged up right now. They're a little short on the blue line. I don't know if they've got as dominant a player as Chris Thompson back there this year. But again, Big Fedotenko is really coming around as far as throwing the puck in the net. They get Morgan Roach back. They're going to look quite a bit like they did last year. And maybe not quite of the caliber. I'm not sure. But they'll be very consistent. And they'll be hard to beat night in, night out.
Scott, one of the things that we have looked at in terms of the playoff standings, the top 8 teams, we're not in that top 8 right now. Yet I think we're only 5 points out of the 4th position.
Yeah, it's too early yet for teams to really separate. And I think this league looks an awful lot like it did last year. There's no real bad teams. I think Dubuque set a record last year, a dubious record, but for being the highest point total of any last place team in league history. And that'll probably get broken this year. I think they had 30-odd points last year, whatever it was. There's no bad teams in the league this year. Everybody's put 2. His goals against is right at 3. And that's as good a run as we've had from any goaltender, and we'll see if he can carry it on.
Very good. That's Blackhawks head coach Scott Pionk.
All right, and that is Blackhawks head coach Scott Pionk. And got a new public address announcer tonight. Dwight Fritz, I think, is visiting family. His wife and kids are off visiting family for the Thanksgiving holiday. Took a little bit to get things going here this evening, but now we will bring you from Young Arena our national anthem. I would guess a crowd of about 2,500 tonight as we look around. And now our national anthem. By the name of Bob Cruz singing the national anthem tonight, doing it beautifully. Color guard has not yet left its position on the end of the rink. And I have the utmost respect for Jake Moreland, the goaltender, as he stands at attention with the color guard in front of him while his team is skating around the offensive zone and now going back to the blue line. Noticing the color guard has not yet left its position. Blackhawks stayed at attention the entire time. Good for Jake Moreland. Okay. See if we can get this baby underway tonight. A little bit of a late start. Hawks and goaltender Nate Noblin will defend the goal to our right. Jake Moreland and Sioux City will defend the goal to our left. This will be the final meeting of the season between these two teams, and that seems strange. Sioux City playing only its 20th game tonight, and the Blackhawks playing their 17th. The Hawks will open up with Brian Hale, Cale Pinseth, and Tom Ogier on defense. It will be Cullen Flaherty, and he will pair with Keith Stanich. Sioux City will play Tyler Palmasino between Ruslan Fedotenko and Pat O'Leary. On defense, Tim Judy is paired with Jeff Van Dyke, and we're underway here in the opening period. Play comes into the Sioux City zone, back into behind the net, around to the far side on the wing, trying to play it ahead in doing so. As Palmasino got banged along the boards by Pinseth, and the Hawks will take and drive it right back in, and Moreland will stop at the boards defense. Around to the right, and a pass for Fedotenko. Hale playing the body in the end board. The pass out to neutral, over skating, following, bringing it in, crossing, giving into the slot was Fedotenko, and it comes out to center, and the Hawks now in on the right with Ogier, and they're changing, so he's by himself. He'll fire rink wide in the zone, getting to it Kennedy. Kennedy looking to put it to the front. It's loose in front, and cleared to the right by Judy, and up the wing and out to center, and Galvin will take and put it right back into the zone. Judy will go back to play it. Here's Judy. Tries to bank it around the boards and does. It's cleared up the left, and we may get icing called here on Sioux City as the Hawks go back to get it with a Jake teaser. There's the whistle, and a face-off of the Sioux City zone. Hawks have Stevens on, playing between Welch and Kennedy. On defense, it will be Teaser and Galvin. Sioux City will counter with Pavlis, Arnold, and Willis. And the face-off trying to go to the net. B.J. Stevens got held up, and it goes into the corner for Welch, turning in the corner on the sideboards. Welch getting into the high slot. Kennedy shot is blocked out to center. Chopping at it is Galvin. Right to the stick of Willis. Passing to the left to Arnold into the zone. A drive. And that's blocked out by Noblin. Cleared up the right and all the way down. And Sioux City will go down and get it. There'll be no icing. It was deflected out. Back to get it, Mark Bry, the defenseman, to back into behind the net. Bry is on with the David Hale. Hale passing out to center for actually Budash, who picked it off and lost it. Comes back into the Sioux City zone. Arnold dropping it back. Hale passing it up the left. We'll get a two-line pass here as the Hawks and Budash go back to get a bit of a slow start to this one. Hawks have banged the body here in the early going. 18:24 underway in the first period, and there is no score. Got a real good crowd here tonight. Our first sellout last year was on Thanksgiving night. Now keep in mind, we play 3 home games this week. Tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night. Knabley's on with a pull jump. And on the other wing, Johnny Grubb. It comes back to the right point to Budash, puts it to the circle to Knabley, gave it a pull jump, a drive it, it's blocked at point blank. Uncles Bay gave it up in the circle, pulls him to the far corner board, turning in the corner, being checked. It's stuck along the boards in the corner. They've got Dolland with a Kleskla on defense, coming from the corner, trying to cross in front. Backhander by Knabley, blocked and cleared out to center up the right. If they hurry, it's 2-on-1 and now 2-on-2. Uncles Bay passing to the front, they score! Great play. It was 2-on-1, turned into 2-on-2, and O'Leary from Uncles Bay. And it's a 1-0 lead for Sioux City. And that quiets things here. Not that it was that noisy to begin with. Sioux City with the game's first lead, just as they got at home last Saturday night. Hawks are offside from the ensuing face-off. Carton and Nord to face off. Excuse me, Aduno and Catawba to face off. And now Switek is pushing on the far side along with one of the Musketeers, and that's Bozak, I believe. Good for Anthony. Good for Anthony. Bozak, he parades around the Sioux City Auditorium like King Kong, but he didn't want any part of Switek there. Quite interesting. Quite honestly, that's what we want to see from Anthony Switek, is a little bit of emotion. He has played the game here so far, to my way of thinking now, with very little emotion. And I know he's very disappointed at his playing time. And he's got to be disappointed with his play, because if he's not being realistic about his play to this point. And quite frankly, has not been very good. But the young man does have talent. And he's got to play with some heart, a little bit of feeling here. And that was good to see. That was very good to see. A little bit of emotion. Wasn't a fight so much, but boy, Anthony just he shoved back, knocked the helmet up Mozak's head, and he was ready to go. Mozak didn't want to be part of it. Looks like 2-2 and 10 maybe. You know what? Roughing on Mozak. Let's wait for the call here. Roughing and high sticking. Power play for Sioux City, number 1 in the league. Center blue line, Fedotenko, right side of Palmasino. Palmasino delivering it down low beneath the circle. Play from the corner, back along the half boards. Palmasino giving below the circle. B.J. Willis takes it back to the behind, moves it to the far side on the half boards. Back to the point, Bride giving to Fedotenko. A drive, a pad save, the rebound swept ahead right up the middle. It's picked up by Oji. And here come the Hawks to center. Here's Oji passing in on the right, closing in a shot. Oh, right into Moreland. He made the save. Hale went in on the pass from Oji. And Moreland, he's a big boy. He didn't give Ryan much to shoot at. Great pass from Oji. He had to sliver it between 2 defenders. Lifted it about 2 feet off the ice. Looked like it almost landed right on the stick of Ryan Hale. Here's Here's Canably to draw it off, along with Uncles Bay. From the draw, it's picked up and taken back into behind by the defenseman Dowlin. Now Dowlin sending it a rink wide to Willis. Make it Pavlis out the center, giving to Uncles Bay in on the left, in through the circle, putting it into the slot for Pavlis. Pavlis going to the far boards. Here's Pavlis along the half boards, back to the center blue line to Kleslaw. And his shot goes wide. It comes around the near side. Dowlin delivering on the end board for Arnold, back to Dowlin. On the boards at the circle, back to the right point. Kleslaw sliding along the blue line, near side to Dowlin. Dowlin atop the near circle, below the circle on the pass off the stick of Uncles Bay. Turns to the boards, gets banged by Flaherty, but not before he got it to Dowlin. Dowlin driving, and that one deflected wide to the far side. Getting to it, Canably backhands it out just barely, and then it's sent down the rest of the way by Brian Kennedy. Fresh penalty killers coming on for another 23 seconds yet. Now Sioux City breaking out of its own end on the pass to center to Uncles Bay. In on the left. Leaves it on the blue line. Sent to the corner. Uncles Bay went banging into the sideboards. From the corner, it's fed back to the blue line. Shot from the line, deflected wide to the near side for Dowlin. Now Dowlin atop the near circle, back towards the right point. Towards the corner, Uncles Bay comes up, gives it to the left point to Kleslaw for the far circle. Broken up by the stick of Oji and then lifted out to center. And the Hawks have killed the penalty off. 1-0 Sioux City here in the first. Now a pass along the boards, intercepted, brought in by Fulgham, but trapped offside was Hale. 15:40 here in the first period, 1-0 to score. Jack Barzee will visit with us during the first intermission tonight. He's here for Central Scouting tonight, and I understand to take a look at Ruslan Fedotenko. Katava's on to draw it off with a Duno. Now from the draw on the right, forced in along the right side of the Hawks. David Hale pursuing a puck into the corner. Hale checked by Fulgham, picked up by the Hawks, centered back and picked off, and out to center they come. Long shot from center by McCartan off the blocker of Nomelin. The rebound to the right, passed out to center by Stanich, and getting it from center right, Bry will fire it right back in. It rings around the boards to the far side. Around the boards, checking, it comes free, pursuing it towards the corner, getting to it, and trying to maneuver. The Hawks come up with it, and they clear it up the left. All the way up the wing, going after Sean Nords. Chopped up the boards by Sioux City. Catawba along the near boards will send it in on the right, and they'll change now as the Hawks and Flaherty go back to play it. Come on with the Palmasino, Fedotenko, and Olsgaard. Long shot into the zone along the near wing. Getting to it on the side boards was Welch. It's picked up by Fedotenko. Sends it across in his own zone. Dowlin skating it to center on the left wing. Gets to the checkered line. Sends one towards the right corner. It comes up the near boards. Welch is on it for the Hawks. Here's Welch. Oh, he made a bad pass in his own zone. Good thing it hit B.J. Stevens in the circle. Otherwise, that one would have went right across the goal mouth. Now pass up the right for Kennedy, tips it ahead. Galvin giving a nice passing to get it out of the zone to Stevens. Stevens on the left, his pass for Welch, broken up on the blue line by the poke-checking defenseman Judy. And Welch back towards his own line, coming ahead at center through the center circle. Here's Welch, he'll bring it in on the right side along the boards. Welch, a sharp angle shot, a pad save made. Hawks been outshot 5-2 here. And up the left side, they come to center. Judy will shoot it into the Hawk zone. Back to the behind. It's stopped by Nomelin. Giving around to the right. Teaser tipping for Galvin. Galvin sending it up the right side through the skates of Kennedy and out to center. And it's sent in on the right by David Hale from left to right. Teaser going back to get it. Now Jake back to the behind his own net. Here's Jake Teaser. Teaser giving away to Canably. Canably firing out to center. Stepping up and checking it away was Hale. Gave it right away to Kennedy, and Kennedy lost it to Arnold. Arnold runs into Canably at center, and Teaser gets on it. He'll drive it in on the right. And the Hawks will change. Back to the behind the net, being played with the Sioux City defense. Up the right side of Willis. His pass across to Pavlis out to center. Now here's Pavlis in on the right. Pavlis firing a shot right on. Save made. Rebound banged off the end board by Flaherty. Fulgham on the right wing. He'll send it down. We'll get icing called on the Hawks. Going back to get it is Bry. 1-0 Sioux City here in the first. We'll be back. This is Blackhawks hockey on Cube 95.3. 1-0 Sioux City in the first. They are 5-4-1 when they score first. The Hawks, when they score first, are 4-1-1, meaning they're 1-9 when they don't. Now the puck is shot off the near wing of the Hawk zone. Oji has his man tied up, tried to spin him around. Wallace bumping in the corner along with Stanich. Puck comes free, sent up the left by Flaherty out to center, and Kleslaw will take and dump it into the left-hand corner. Stanich going back to the behind, trying to reverse it. Does for Cullen Flaherty. Here's Cullen's pass up the right. Vincent giving to Flaherty. Little give and go action ahead to center on the right. Oji coming in. Ryan Hale coming down the slot. Takes the sharp angle shot. It's gloved halfway up by Moreland, and he keeps it for the draw. Now Kletzlaw and Ryan Hale are shoving. At the side of the net, one of the Hawks, Cale Vincent, has got Kletzlaw tied up. Ryan Hale has a mouthful for Kletzlaw. I think Ryan's been waiting to drop him. Kletzlaw would make a big mistake. I have a feeling we could see something there tonight. He's the young man who really drove a cross-check into Johnny Grubb's head last Saturday night. Scott Pionk was not happy at all, and he was even less happy with Commissioner Gino Gasparini, who seemed to minimize it. You've got to get injured in this league before something's done. Five of the five, it does nothing to affect the numbers on the ice. On the face-off, it's put into the slot, knocked down in the slot area. Good defensive job was Aduno to center. Here they come on the right. Dowling trying to get around Sommel on the boards. Can't. Wallace following. Works it at the end board. Taken away by Budash. Budash in the corner. 2-on-1. Loses possession. And now Uncle's Bay trying to move it along the boards. Aduno holding him up. Good job by Jeff Aduno. And now it's Budash in the end board with Wallace. It goes all the way to the far corner. Switek trying to give it on the end board. Budash being checked. It comes from the corner. Aduno gathers it in. And here come the Hawks to center on the pass to Budash. Head manning in on the right is Nor. Nor being forced wide. Puts his shoulder down. Sends it across the front. And it comes all the way to the near boards. Into the corner. Now Aduno checking and the puck coming free. It's at the bottom of the circle. On the ice, Switek trying to get up. Wallace had him in a headlock. It's cleared up the left, and Sioux City coming ahead to center. Here's Uncle's Bay. Uncle's Bay will throw it in. It's blocked off to the goaltender's left. Nolan giving behind for Gelvin around to the right. Tommy Gelvin passing out to center. It's tipped ahead to Welch, and we're offside. B.J. Stevens is on the left for the Blackhawks. 11:27 left in the first. 1-0 in Sioux City's favor. Let's see, did we get a line change? No, we don't, so we'll keep it right here. Teaser and Gelvin come out on defense, so they did make that change. Off the draw, comes into the Sioux City zone, getting hold of it, coming ahead is Bry. Here's Bry trying to give ahead on the right. Teaser running into Catawba. It's put into the Hawk zone, back to the behind up the near side of her Welch. Welchie trying to pass out. His pass off the stick of McCartan out to center, getting it Stevens. Stevens runs into and knocks down to McCartan. Now along the near boards at the circle towards the point. Stevens trying to get around the hip of Catawba, slowed him up, got it to the slot for Kennedy, was forced to the far side, put it to the end board. It's left back into behind. Catawba gets it. He keeps it ahead, and they'll break it out 2-on-2. Here's McCartan to center. He'll drive one into the Hawks' end, and Sioux City is changing. Oh my goodness! Oh no, 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 no! There's the puck laying right on the goal line. As one of the Hawks tried to clear, and he banged it right into the goaltender Nolan, who was standing out to his left. Who was the Hawk defender? He just tried to clear it around behind the net. He banged it right into Nolan's pants, and the puck was twittering on edge into the goal mouth and then on the goal line itself. And Nolan didn't realize where it was. The defender, our defender, didn't realize who it was, or where it was rather, and only, I don't know, Nate Nolan somehow, someway recovered in time. They're going to stop to increase it for the face-off. From the draw, Judy gets it, lifts one that goes over the crossbar. Up the right side of Vincent. Here's Finney. The puck gets away from him. He chases it down, brings it in on the wing, gets tripped up. Penalty call coming up. Hawks are going to go on the power play. Oji firing a pass from right to left. It comes out the boards, and as the Musketeers get possession, we get a tripping call on the Musketeers, and the Hawks go on the power play. Olsgaard is going to go. A break in the action. 1-0 Sioux City. This is Blackhawks hockey on Q95.3. Face-off inside the blue line of the Musketeers. One of the better penalty-killing teams in the league. Dave Haxtell's specialty teams the past 2 years have been excellent. Now from the near boards into the Hawk zone. Fedotenko's got 3 shorthanded goals this season. Fires one a rink wide, and it's cleared out to center. Actually passed out by Sioux City back to their own line. Oh, the pass ahead right into Stevens, and then he lost it atop the circle, and it's cleared down the ice by Palmasino. Hawks go back to get it with Galvin playing it from his netminder. Here's Galvin around to the right. Now Galvin giving it up the right to Ryan Hale. Hale at center. Into the stick of Flaherty. From Flaherty, stick played by Hale. Then on the left, here's Hale going in deep. Hale into the corner. Hale being held off by Kleslaw. Hale giving to Oji back to the blue line to Galvin. Now Galvin sliding along the line. His shot was blocked by the point man of the penalty kill. And Uncles Bay up the left wing. Beats Galvin. Here's Uncles Bay going in through the circle. No call as he got hooked down. I don't know how or why not. And Nomlin will freeze the puck to his right. Wow. 9:31 left here in the first. 1-0 Sioux City. 1:04 left on the Hawks power play. They'll change units as Welch comes on, along with Knabely and Kennedy. It'll be Budaj and Stanich. As the point man, Arnold, Nate Catawba, and they'll play Bry along with Hale on defense. And now Uncles Bay and Pavlis will be the penalty killers up front. From the draw, the puck in the circle. Won by the Hawks finally. Back to behind his net is Stanich. Stanich looking to his right. Here's Stanny giving it up the wing. Kennedy's pass tipped. As he was trying to come across with the pass on the left, it was tipped by Uncles Bay back in their own zone. Stanich, his pass ahead. And gathering it in is Pavlis. Pavlis, one of those tireless workers. Stanich takes it back, get it behind his net. Here's Stanny around to the right, firing up the right side to Kennedy. Kennedy's long pass to the line. The sleeper was Welch. Gathers it in, closes, a shot, he scores! Welch, we're tied at 1. Welch will get the goal. It's a power play goal. Let's pick up the assist. Great pass, and Welch doing an excellent job of playing the pass off in defender's stick. Welch from Stanich. Stanny making a great pass, and Welch doing a really good job of catching that pass. Now the play comes into the Hawk zone, being played from the corner towards the front, picked off by Aduno. Aduno trying to come up the near boards, escapes a check, loses the puck. Judy's shot is blocked. Nor forces it outside the zone. It comes back into the Hawks' end, and offside is called on Sioux City. Sioux City will change. I would imagine the Hawks will too, as they've got the last change here. An opportunity to match lines. Tomorrow night, North Iowa is in for a 7:35 face-off. We'll be on the air at 7:10. Hale and Fedotenko lined up opposite each other on the face-off. From the draw, it goes all the way to the far side, driven in by David Hale. Back to the behind the Hawks net. Nomlin or Flaherty left behind the goal stand. It's trying to flip around, come to the front. Nomlin's got it hit against the post. Boy, shoved down Fedotenko, took a heavy blow in front. Might have been Ryan Hale who knocked him right on his backside. Fedotenko not happy about that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Might be interesting to see what happens if this guy gets knocked around a little bit. He didn't react real well to it. He's got to go to the penalty box, in fact, and so is Gail Vincent. Was it Vinny who got him? Ah, what the heck? Let's make it a fun evening here. Fedotenko's a whale of a player. OG line, and OG wins the faceoff. Comes to the near boards. Hawks were terrible on the faceoff last Saturday night against this team. A lot of delay of a game calls when they get a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. They call it delay of a game now. They don't call roughing or anything of that sort. You are holding up the game when you push and shove after a whistle, and so they call it delay of a game. OG and Pavlis from the draw, the puck into the corner. Getting to it, Cullen Flaherty. Flaherty trying to come up the near wing. Got the pass to OG out to center, onto the boot. Kennedy, and from his boot, it's sent back the other way by Bry. Picked off at center by OG. Giving the cross to the right to Stanich. Stanich to the red line. He'll drive a long shot in. And escapes the goaltender Moreland. Getting to it is Hale. Hale reversing it back to the corner for OG. Pavlis checking on him, and it comes from the boards to the defense. Giving ahead to Willis. And Willis out of Hibbing, Minnesota's pass ahead. Came back to him, gave it to Pavlis, sending it to the front. It's cleared aside by the netminder Nobelin, and then Lee Arnold goes sliding into the net and knocking it free of its moorings and bringing on a whistle. 7:29 left in the first. We're even at one apiece. The shots are just 7-4 in Sioux City's favor. In Averly line against the Uncles Bay unit. On the draw. Somebody lost their stick, getting it. Fulgham passing it out to center. Here come the Hawks and Johnny Grubb. Here's Grubber in on the right. John shot deflects out the backside of Canavely to the near boards at the circle. Bouncing puck along the wing. Wallace got it ahead, cleared it out to center off a teaser. Uncles Bay giving on the left. And now in on the left to the far side, getting banged along the wall. It was O'Leary. O'Leary with Uncles Bay getting up on the puck into the circle. Here's Uncles Bay passing into the slot. Grubb tried to poke it away, and Kleslaw sends one wide. It comes off the end board. Diving out was Nobelin trying to cover it up. It goes back to the behind the net. Work Frey put into the slot. Uncles Bay shot. It's deflected wide, and the net knocked free of its moorings, so that one would have not been counted anyway, even had it been on and gone in. 6:49 left in the first, even at one. We'll be back. This is Blackhawks hockey at Q95.3. The announcement. Face-off will be at the left of goaltender Nobelin. 1-0 Sioux City here in the first. Now Dowling. Alone in front, Nobelin. Nobelin got the lay of the game. I think when he did, I don't think he shot it out of the ring. They ruled he knocked the net off its moorings. Nobelin did, and that's the reason for delay of a game on Nate Nobelin. So a power play for Sioux City, each team. Sioux City and Waterloo, each team has had one power play. The Hawks are 1 of 1-0, and 0 of 1 is Sioux City. On the draw, the puck in the circle, and the Hawks will clear it down as Gelvin dumps it down on the left. Kleslaw will go back and get it. From in behind his net, Kleslaw coming around to the right. Here's Kleslaw giving it on the left, and out to center they come. Dowling from center will drive a long shot in. It's on the backboard, played at the right by Teaser. Teaser being banged by Arnold to the ice. Penalty coming up on Arnold, elbow or checking from behind. One or the other, and Jake felt that one. He gets up and then drops down to his right knee. And down to both knees. Arnold is going to go. And let's see for how long. Harder to look for more than 2 on that. That was not a clean. Jake clearly had his back too. It's only 2 minutes. Boy, we saw Brian Kennedy get 5 in a game misconduct. A lot less than that. As to what kind of intent there was. Now we're 4 on 4. We're about a minute and 20 seconds. Pass to center. Kleslaw back at his own line, giving it to Dowling. Dowling puts it out to center. And Fedotenko has it. Make that Palmasino. His shot to the net. Stick save made. Stevens will get a hold of it and clears it around to the right. Stanich will pass it out to center. Oh, knocked out. Welch at center on a good step hit by Klesla, who laid the shoulder into him, and Welch gets right back up. That was a good clean hit. Klesla's only 16 years old, we understand. His pass is out the backside of Palmasino. Getting a hold of it, Dahlen. Here's Dahlen giving it right side to Klesla. Here's Klesla at center. Klesla, long shot in. Stick save made. The rebound taken by Budash. Back to the behind and around to his right. Now here's Budash giving it up the right side to Stevens. Stevens pass in the line for Budash. Is knocked down with the stick of Unklesby. Can't clear as Stevens got in his way. Now it's center, but center headed into the Hawk zone. And cleared ahead by netminder Nomelin, where Stanich has got to retreat to the end board with it. Unklesby is on him. Keith was slow in playing that puck. Unklesby gets the puck, turning to the sideboards, into the circle. His backhander goes wide. And Hale checking his man off the puck, and that allows the Hawks and Budash to get possession. Bouncer out to center, off the stick of Oji and Hale. David Hale will put it into the Hawk zone. We're down to about 3 seconds before the Hawks will get a man advantage for about 28. Here's Ryan Hale at center. Ryan Hale into the zone. He'll fire it right into his brother. And it's taken and passed up the right to the blue line, but not out. Kept in by the Hawks along the near boards. Just inside the line they battle. And it comes free. Just inside, here's Flaherty giving to the skate of Hale that was going to the net. Off escape, Brian Clett into the far boards, and David Hale passes it up the left. Galvin at center giving now. And Flaherty's errant pass behind the intended receiver Canable, and Bry will clear it down. That'll kill out the penalty for Sioux City. So both teams, I guess the Hawks 1 of 2, and Sioux City 0 of 2. Cross-rink feed in their own zone. Trying to get to it was Flaherty. Flaherty with Judy shooting it back into the Hawks end. From behind the net at the left. Galvin giving for Flaherty. Oh, it's a touch pass. Picked off. Fed into the high slot. Arnold forced back towards the blue line. Passes to the far side of Verdalen, who's in deep. Along the wall at the circle, the Hawks getting possession, trying to clear ahead. Good job of checking by Sioux City. Finally worked out to center on the right. Canably had it poked away, but a right to Kennedy was the late man in, and it's forced out fist sticking out to center by Lee Arnold. Canably with a pair of 20s battling. Arnold falling atop the far circle, and the Hawks and Stevens 4-on-3 to center, and the poor pass intended for Canably. He's got to come to the near wall for it. Here's Canably turning to his right at center to the circle, giving to Teaser, and Teaser will take and drive it in. And goes back into behind the net. Played around to the left. And up the wing and out to center, Lee Arnold. Good short pass, and it's shot into the Hawks zone by Palmasino. Back into behind the Hawks net, getting to it, Salmela. Salmela around to his right, ahead of the right side now to Fulgham. Here's Fulgham coming ahead to the blue line. Johnny Grubb very, very easily offside, well offside. 3:08 left in the first in a 1-1 game. First period of goals from Sioux City's Pat O'Leary and the Blackhawks, Chris Welch. Line. On the draw, it comes into the Sioux City end. Back to get it, David Hale. Here's Hale on the end board. Hale around to the right. Hale giving near corner. It comes up the boards. Bry getting to it. Bry's pass out to the center behind Teaser. Back into the Hawks end. Galvin racing back to get it. Unklesby in pursuit as well. Set up the near boards. Along the near boards crashing was Wallace. It comes free. The Hawks have it. Here's Teaser. Teaser skating it out to center. Puts it on the stick of Fulgham. Fulgham in on the right. Here's Fulgham. His pass blocked. He's taken to the far wall by Hale. Now Aduna will follow the puck to the far corner. What have we got? The referee has blown the whistle. Something away from the play. We're going to get penalties. I think it's a holiday tomorrow. Could be here for a little bit. Johnny Grubb and Adam Wallace are going. Well, I know they can't call delay of a game on that. The play was still going on. Mr. Nelson, the referee, is telling the Hawks they have to send Kennedy and company back to the bench. They already made their changes. Stevens, Hale, Fitzet, Flaherty, and Stanich. On the draws, one cleanly by Stevens to Flaherty and driving. It's fired wide up the boards of the comes, kept in. Oh, Stanich took a high, hard hit from O'Leary. We got a whistle, and the puck must have gone up and over and out of play. Sometimes you wonder if kids know how to check or not. I'm talking both teams, all teams. The way they play the body with the cheap hits that are delivered sometimes, you just wonder why not a good old-fashioned body check instead of a cheap hit. Centering pass, good stick save, Nolan. Coming right down the slot was O'Leary. Now O'Leary shoving along with Kennedy. They're one-handing each other and trying to battle for the puck at the same time. It's played to the circle. Moved ahead by Stevens to Welch and right through Kennedy's skates. There's those lateral passes instead of the forward pass. Skated if you don't have a pass. Into the zone, Unglesby driving and stopped by the blocker of the goaltender Nolan. They'll cover it on the right. We got some pushing and shoving going. Flaherty along with one of the Musketeer forwards. Let's find out who it is. Mullen dropped his stick. He was ready. Flaherty and Van Dyke. A little used defenseman. .07. Face off at the right of the goaltender Nolan. From the draw, the puck at the circle. It goes towards the corner. Fedotenko far side with Galvin checking him and falling on top of Fedotenko and lost his footing. Teaser wraps his man against the wall and squeezed up the boards. Hawk trying to bring it out. They do ahead to Hale. One-on-one as he closes in. Forced to the backhander. He tried to slide it between the pads of the goaltender Moreland, who made the save. It's played along the near boards and Vincent keeping it in the high slot. Here's Benny's shot. That one is high, but it's gloved by Moreland. He'll keep it. Now, Wolfsgaard and Vincent. Dowding for the NHL. From the draw, the puck in the circle, firing Vincent right on. And that one's saved by goaltender Moreland. Oh, Judy, yeah, you go with them. Find out. Boy, the referee sends teaser the crowd. You can hear the crowd reacting right now. In the world, Jake Teaser, who normally will fight at the drop of a hat, he backed off. Judy challenged him, he backed off, and Teaser's going to get a penalty. Teaser did it for the good of the team, and then this idiot wearing the orange stripe is going to make him pay. Might as well drop him and go, Jake. Hop over the glass and go get him. What the heck? Earn the 2 minutes. They're going to give you the 2 anyway. You might as well go with them. Scott Pionk is giving the referee an earful right now. Sets of coincidental minors. You don't get control of a hockey game in that way. I think the young man might be in over his head. We see certainly a lot of that in this league. This referee is in over his head. He doesn't have a clue. Going to be an interesting night before this one is up, and now we've got an extra 2 up on the board. What in the world is that for? They chased the 2 face-off men on the draw outside the Sioux City line on the near wing. Let's pick up the penalties. misconduct on Judy. A 2-minute cross-check on Teaser. That, yes. The guy challenges Teaser. He gets a 10-minute misconduct. The Hawks pick up a 2-minute cross-check. The Hawks are short-handed for Teaser backing down from getting challenged. All right, you explain that one to me, because I'll tell you, the referee doesn't have a clue. Side boards, Palmasino passes across. A shot save made by Nomeland. Interesting. Back to the center blue line to Fedotenko. Skate save. Rebound. Palmasino's shot was blocked. It went off in traffic to the far boards. Bry will put it on the end board. I guarantee you, Teaser gets challenged again. He'll go. Why not? You get an idiotic call like that, it almost forces you to. Hawks clear it down. We're down to 15 seconds here left in the period. Turning is Willis. Here's Willis coming up the left, ahead to center. Now Willis sidestepping his own man into the zone, turning, firing. Olsgaard sends it wide. It comes to the near wall. Getting it. Fedotenko at the horn, a shot, and that's blocked off by Nomeland. Good save. 1-1. That's the way the period ends. Shots are 14-6 at the end of one in Sioux City's favor. 2-minute cross-check. And a 10-minute misconduct at 18:30. Our guests between periods were tied 1-1 tonight. After one, we'll be back. This is Blackhawks Hockey and Q90x3. No, the Hawks didn't get the major, did they? They picked up 22. 7 for 22. The Hawks picked up 7 for 14. Or not yet 7 for 10. Play is in the Hawk zone. It's cleared down the ice, and we're down to 25 seconds now as we're into the second period in a 1-1 game. Here comes Bry passing up the right for Palmasino. Played it right off the linesman. Sends it in on the right. Olsgaard going to it. Stanich with him as well. Stanich will take and try and hem him in along the back wall. Tyler Palmasino trying to dig it free. Palmasino out of East Grand Forks. Passing back to the right point. Off of Fedotenko, sticking out to center. The Hawks have killed the penalty off. As Teaser comes out of the box along the far side, tipped into the zone, intended for Hale. And now out to center. Palmasino giving a head and trying to shoot it in was Willis, and following and driving right into Nomeland, who makes the save on Tyler Palmasino. I don't know for sure, but I think Tyler is, I'm sure he's related. Next it was Olsgaard who took the shot, 21 and not 27. I think Tyler Palmasino is related, and I would guess maybe his dad is Tony Palmasino. He used to be the head hockey coach at East Grand Forks High School. Used to talk to Tony on the telephone when I was doing radio back in Cloquet and doing a lot of high school hockey. From the draw, Uncles Bay going to the end board, checking on him. Fulgham getting hold of it, passing. Budaj out to center to Knebly. Here's Knebly into the zone, sliding across, back-checking Wallace, breaking up the pass, and he starts out Uncles Bay at center. Uncles Bay crossing well to his left into the zone, drop passing for Dallin. His shot to the net, it's gloved just off the ice and kept. Now Salmalaz pushing along with, who is it back into behind? It's Adam Wallace. Oh, they were pushing. Let them play. It's going to be a long night. Well, let's see who gets 10 and who gets 2. No, wait, there was no challenge. There was no fight challenge. All they did was push. Let them play. If somebody actually does fight, can you give out life penalties? Uncles Bay on the draw along with Knebly from the corner. Fulgham getting it, going back into behind, coming around to his left. Here's Fulgham. Ed Manning up the left side into the zone. Johnny Grubb. Grubb will flip it wide of the net. It comes around the near side. Van Dyke going to it. Fulgham banging on him on the boards. Into the corner. They play it in the corner. I've got a guy with 4 beers walking in front of me. From the corner, Fulgham. He's in the corner by him. Now he's joined. He gets some help. It's passed back to the right point to Galvin. Galvin is shot through traffic. Gloved by Moreland and kept with a face-off. 1-1 the score here in the second period. Both teams at full strength. Made the announcement on those penalties to Salmon on Wallace, and he gave them both 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. Wow. As Marty Stratton asked, has this guy ever seen a hockey game? From the far boards, a drive to the net. Nomelin makes the save. I'm wondering why he even sent them off, and he gives them each 10. Let's get a fight. I want to see what kind of penalty he gets for a fight. Oh my goodness. Woo. Go back to Squirts. Back to the right point. Dry sending it towards the net, and the Hawks will break it out. Flaherty at center, passing into Kennedy, trying to fight through a check, and he tries to one-hand it to the net. He gets pulled down, and of course there's nothing. Now goes back to the behind. Kennedy coming around, wrapping, and the goaltender Moreland braces it against the post. Don't push, you could be gone for 10. Don't push. There was a little pushing. I was worried. There was 2 or 3 guys pushing from each team. I thought, uh-oh. Be hockey's version of the moral majority or something, this guy. He's on a crusade. He's going to stomp out crime on the ice. Oh well, I'll cut it out until he does something again. We're up here in the press box looking at each other like, what in the world? 10 minutes to Salmela and Wallace for nothing. In the corner along the boards at the circle. 1-1 game in the second. They're fighting along the boards, and the puck comes off the boards. That being a figure of speech, by the way. Across the line, McCartan driving it wide. Teaser will play it from the end board. Tries to pass it behind. Does to Budash. Now Budash around to the right. Sent ahead on the wing and out to center, and here comes Aduno. Here's Aduno in on the right side. Aduno near board. Slips and falls. Mozak trying to poke the puck along the boards, and he poked it right into the foul, and Aduno who's on top of the puck. And so the whistle is blowing, a face-off upcoming. Now Mozak. Well, he'll get a little feisty until somebody gets in his face, and then he backs down. You know, he's... 17 minutes left here in the second. We're underway in period number 2 of the 1-1 game. O.G. Hale into Finseth, Stanich, and Flaherty. On the face-off played along the near wing, and they'll break it out 3-on-3. Olsgaard passing to the line. Fedotenko fires one way wide. Up the boards it comes, getting to it. Olsgaard to keep it in. Stanich checking him. It comes into the circle, bouncing around. Fedotenko came rushing through and backhanded. Off it goes to the left to the far corner. Oji checking on his man. Stanich checking on his. The puck is left loose on the end board. Now Palmasino or Olsgaard trying to cross to the front from back behind the net. He's fighting through Stanich, who kept him wide. Fedotenko near boards. Flaherty checking on him. It's in the corner. Olsgaard being checked by Stanich. Now it's frozen against the boards, and we'll get a face-off to goaltender Moreland's right. Or Nomelin, rather, in the Hawks' end. Moreland and Nomelin, two similar names. Except the one is Moore and the other one is Nomelin. Some scores from elsewhere tonight. Oh my goodness, end of 1. Des Moines 5, Twin Cities 1. Dubuque 2, Green Bay 1 at the end of 1. Dubuque's been playing pretty well. Fargo and North Iowa, nothing to report yet. Well, North Iowa in here tomorrow night. We'll see you too. Face off the goaltender. Nomelin's right. From the drop, Fulgham tied up as he tries to get a stick on it. Does. Gave it ahead. Trying to pass it out of the zone. It was Canably. And shot back in deep behind the net. Nolan giving to Jake Teaser. Here's a Teaser passing up the left wing. The outlet pass, Canably. I'll tell you what, Sioux City really does a good job of checking. They are on you, no question about it. Now the Hawks in their own zone with the Galvin trying to pass out of his end. For Fulgham giving ahead on the right to Canably. Here's Canably crossing inside the line with the grub. Canably into the far circle. Took the shot that was blocked. Loses his helmet. He along with, who is it? Kleslaw maybe from the left point. Shot goes wide back into behind. 2 helmets off. Somebody lost out. From back into behind, coming around to the right. Dahlen giving it up the right wing. Out to center now. Spun out the puck is Van Dyke. In comes Uncles Bay. Uncles Bay falling with the grub on top of him. And Fulgham will turn it back the other way. Fulgham at center to Canably. The puck goes back into behind Kleslaw. And the Hawks are going to change. Kleslaw going back to get it. Rustislav Kleslav. And sent up the right side. It hit the linesman of Rick Kemp. And Stevens will bring it back in. Here's Stevens flipping one high and wide. Shots are 18-7. In front it comes off the end board. And Sioux City will clear. Hawks being outshot 18-7. Played 5 minutes into the second period. Shot to the net off the blocker of Moreland from the corner. Budaj. Now Budaj. He'll send it up the left and out to center. And Bry will take and dump it right back in. And Sioux City gets onside. They pursue the puck with Stanich passing up the right to Kennedy. Trying to give it ahead at center. Stevens to the boards for it. He'll take and rink wided. Welch will go to it. He along with the Bry on the end board. Welch and Bry. Stevens coming in as well. Also Palmasino. It's played at goaltender Jake Moreland's right. Moved along the side of the boards by BJ. Kennedy will join in. Pokes it free to Welch's stick. Welch tried to get it back to the point. Fedotenko got his stick on it. It does come out to center. And now sent into the Sioux City zone. And the Hawks are pursuing David Hale as he comes up the left and dumps it in. Budaj will go back and get it in behind. Trying to reverse for Stanich. Is back into behind the net. And Stanich passing up the left. And Welch's stick was to his right. The pass was to his left on his backside. It goes down for icing. 14:06 left here in the second. Tied at 1. This is Blackhawks hockey at Q95.3. Get up. Now the play comes all the way back into the Sioux City zone, pursuing it. Kleslaw sending it up the right. Give it ahead. It comes into the Hawk zone on the near wing. Arnold getting to it as he falls, going into the corner, gets up, digging away. Galvin, Arnold along the end board, big strong boy. Checked by Flaherty. Arnold slowed up, being checked and held along the boards into the corner. Pavlis, OG is there as well. Now Pavlis trying to get it back towards the point along the wall. Pavlis turning on the sideboards. Pavlis comes off the sideboards and then falls. Got the pass across the drive and it's fired wide. Good work by Pavlis. Now Dahlen on the left. Dahlen in deep. Here's Dahlen back into behind the net. Dahlen passing it back on the right. Kleslaw into the high slot. A riser over the top. They score! It came off the glass to the front and it was knocked in. And Sioux City takes a 2-1 lead. Give Pavlis a lot of credit for keeping that play going, and then Dahlen for his work down low. 2-1 Sioux City. The goal comes at 6:42. Boy, they are the other team, but I can't help but say I do enjoy watching them play. They work so doggone hard. I've always said I will give every team and every player their due credit. Arnold, they said Kleslaw, but that was Kleslaw. Shot the one over the top of the net. Dahlen should pick up an assist as well. Here's Teaser passing it up the left and out to center. Bry back to his own line. He'll bang it out the boards near side. And that'll be a two-line pass on Sioux City and a face-off back in the Musketeers zone. No, my philosophy all the way along in radio broadcasting and doing high school, college, and now junior hockey, other sports as well. Probably more so, I'll tell you what, more so since I joined the Blackhawks last year. I used to be pretty objective, and yet people knew where I was coming from. But I lost some of that objectivity here last year after about 20 years of doing this stuff and being out of it for 5 years. And you'll know what side my bread's buttered on, but on the other hand, I respect a good play and a good effort regardless of where it comes from, our side or your side, or the other side. Off the face-off, the Hawks are called for offside. The face-off was just inside the line. Jake Teaser doesn't agree. Good play is a good play. And good effort's a good effort. And there's great effort, especially by Pavlis. All the forecheckers, but Pavlis really worked the boards well, leading to that goal. I think he's one of those guys who could be underappreciated if you don't see him enough or don't understand the game or appreciate effort. Run the boards, getting at David Hale, giving it up the left to Mozak. Mozak passing out to center. Into the zone of McCartan. McCartan turning to the far side, and he turned himself right back to the blue line, tried to backhand to keep it in. Right now, Sioux City has got the momentum going. They're playing the body a little bit, and it's Budaj, shrink wide to Teaser in his own end. McCartan checks him. It's sent up the left into the Sioux City zone. A pass back out to neutral. Teaser bangs down to McCartan, and finally a little life from the fans. But you got to do something to generate the life. It's passed up the left. At center, Johnny Grubb, and Grubb will send it into the right-hand corner, and the Hawks will make a change. Dowlin's got it back in his own end here. Dowlin around to the right for Klesla, back to Dowlin, to back to the behind. Kennedy went after Klesla and missed him with a check. It's passed out to center. Here's Olsgaard. Olsgaard into the zone, giving on the left to Palmasino, closing short side shot. Pat save, rebound. Palmasino took it back to the behind, trying to pass it into the slot. It comes off Stevenson out to center. Down to 11:22 in the counting here in the second period. 2-1 the score with Sioux City leading. Flaherty from behind the net on the right for Kennedy. Long rink wide feed, turning to it was Walsh into the zone, 2-on-3. Here's Walsh from the slot, a drive, and Moreland does the splits, reaches out to his left and makes the save. He will keep it. We're going on the power play, folks. 2 minutes for what, elbowing? Well, 2 minutes on Tyler Palmasino. I won't argue it, but... If he saw it, he must have saw it. Gelvin on the right. Here's Gelvin, and they've been poked out to center, gets it back, brings it in, right to the slot, overhandled, it's cleared out to center and all the way back. Now Nolan, he'll wait for it and whack it around to his right as Uncle Fay was on him. And the Hawks and Hale. And on the right wing, here's Ryan Hale. Ryan Hale going back to the behind. David Hale checking. Ryan Hale sheds David Hale. Here's Ryan Hale around to the near side. Ryan Hale getting it back to Flaherty, giving center blue line to Gale with a power play. Hawks are 1 of 2. Here's a drive, and it's fired wide. Ryan Hale on the end board from the corner. Here's Ryan Hale giving side of boards to B.J. Stevens. Now Stevens with the umbrella. Here's Stevens coming into the circle, and he shot it right at point blank, right into a stick, right into Bry's stick. Bry, I mean, was right there with it, practically took it away, and it's cleared down. Sometimes you got to do it like you mean it. Passed up the left to Flaherty, dropping it back to Gelvin. Here's Gelvin coming ahead to the blue line. He'll dump it in. Back to the behind the net, Dowlin. Dowlin, Knavely checking on him. Kennedy checking on Dowlin. Down to 45 seconds on the Hawks power play. Knavely getting the puck, passing back, center blue line to Stanich. Stanich sends one deflected into the right corner. Now 2-on-1 Hawks in the corner. Welch coming up with it. He fed it back to a vacated point and out to center ice. Budaj has it. Now to 28 seconds of the power play. Dumped right back into by Budaj. Hops the stick of the goaltender Moreland to behind. Welch in the corner, feeding back to the right point to Budaj. Here's Budaj. He'll take and lift one to the far side. Knavely on the half boards, down low, gave it, trying to come to the front. Kennedy, it was closed off, back to the point to Budaj, driving a shot in front, open net, they score! We're tied at 2-2. Kennedy, I believe, check that Knavely, Brian Knavely. Ryan Knebly does get the goal, and Welch along with the Budash assisting at 10:34. 2-2 game. And I don't believe that was a power play goal. Seconds, difference of 7 seconds. I'm trying to figure out which way. I think the power play had just expired. Now Palmasino in on the left, just inside the line. Half-boards Pedatenko, put it back, get it behind. Checking on his man is Flaherty. It's worked by the Hawks and OG on the right. Finseth, rink widening to Hale, coming out to center, passing up the right to Finney. He's got to chase it down. Finseth going to it, back to the behind, goes by David Hale. Here's Finseth reversing it in the corner to Ryan Hale. And Ryan Hale was checked by David Hale, and Sioux City breaks it out. Palmasino on the right, crossing to his left in the high slot. Gives it back into the slot. OG lost it to Palmasino in front. Now he backhanded and sent it wide from close range. OG handed it right to him. Down it goes. We'll get icing called on the Hawks. 8:27 left here in the second, tied at 2. This is Blackhawks hockey on Q95.3.
Scores around the league in USHL action. Twin Cities versus Des Moines. Twin Cities 1, Des Moines 5 in the first period.
Now Fulgham on the left. Here's Fulgham working far side. Fulgham towards the corner. Kleslaw checking. Fulgham falling. And Kleslaw falls on Fulgham, and that brings a whistle and a face-off to goaltender Nomeland's right. Or Moreland, rather. Jake Moreland for Sioux City. May not be quite as big as I was thinking it might be. I thought he was a little bit taller. Take a good look at him, and he might be about 5'11". He's not as tall as Nate is. Nate being 6'6'1". From the draw, the puck beneath the circle. Dowling along with the Blackhawks. Fulgham checking. Pavlis and Knebly as well. They're in the corner to Moreland's right. Continue to work in the corner for that puck. It comes free, and Kleslaw will play it behind the net on the left, and the pass ahead to Arnold. Now Arnold coming up the left side. Grubb checking him, allowing the Hawks and Galvin to take possession. Passing out to center, and Dowland will go back to play it. Shots at 22-12 in Sioux City's favor. The score at 2-2. Kennedy banging and Dowland on the far board. Stevens collides along with Pavlis, and they fall at center. That even got a rise from the crowd. Here come the Hawks into Welch into the zone, trying to use a screen. He shot at the backside of B.J. Stevens. They play from the corner along the sideboards of the circle. Stevens being shoved over in front of the All Sports Chiropractic sign. Dr. Joel A. Holmgren did a little back adjustment on me tonight. Got the announcer ready. Now behind the net, falling over Kleslaw, we're going to get a penalty as Welch. Kleslaw was down for a reason, I guess, and that's why the whistle is blown as Welch gets possession of the puck. He'll go. Sioux City will go on the power play. .58, the time of the penalty. Chris Welch is going. From the draw, the Hawks win it. Let's pick up the announcement. Tripping on Welch. Pass up the right. Palmasino will shoot it into the zone. Back it behind the net. The puck bouncing on edge. Nomeland trying to give it. Willis takes it. Poke checked away at the side of the net. Flaherty bangs at it. It's Willis back in behind the net, passing back to the right point to Pedatenko, giving it to Willis, far circle down below on the extended goal line. Coming out the goal line, turning, firing Palmasino. It hits traffic. OG's pass ahead for Hale. Hale pursuing it up the right as it was tipped at center. Hale along the near board, slowed up with a stick of pry. The puck goes to the corner, and the Hawks are changing penalty killers. 1:12 left on the power play for Sioux City. Into the zone, Palmasino for Olsgaard. Galvin can't play it away. Olsgaard has shot. Nomeland's got it between the pads. He falls backwards and keeps it between the pads for the face-off. Tommy Galvin's got to do a better job of playing that puck away than he did there. 6:07 left here in the second, and we're even at 2. Canably, Kennedy, Galvin, and Teaser. Uncles Bay will face it off with a Canably. Won by Sioux City. Back to the right point to Dallin. Dallin cranks it up and it goes wide. Round to the near boards, whacking at it. Kennedy trying to clear. Blocked right along the boards. Arnold puts it to the corner for Uncles Bay. Uncles Bay back to the behind, trying to come around. Turns, fire, save. Noblin, he's got it. Now Teaser and Arnold. Arnold drops his glove. Oh, Arnold drops his gloves and Teaser backs away. And Arnold's going to go. Pretty heads up on Jake's part. He drops a penalty on Arnold. Jake said, let's go. Arnold dropped his gloves and Jake backed away. Like playing chicken in the cars and you make the dare and the other guy goes over the cliff. 14-10. Uncles Bay gets the drop, but he's held up. Now the puck left at the side of the Hawks net and getting it Tom Galvin. Here's Galvin coming ahead to center. 33 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Hawks, or rather on the 4-on-4, I should say. Then they'll be on the power play. So City 0-5 now on the power play. Here's Uncles Bay coming up the left, passing on the right to Pavlis. Pavlis got behind Galvin, who lunges. And able to check it away momentarily, but it was regained and passed into the circle on a firing wide Uncles Bay. Now the puck to the front, and Noblin will cover. 5:12 left here in the second. We're even at 2. This is Blackhawks hockey on Q95.3. Face off at the goaltender. Noblin's left on the draw. Ryan Hale getting it coming around to the right. Here's Hale for the Hawks. Ryan coming up the right wing. Ryan into the zone. Here's Ryan being kept wide by David Hale. Passing to the front. OG's stick was lifted right up off the ice. And back the other way, Fedotenko. Hawks are at full strength now. Fedotenko into the slot. Had it knocked away. Getting it to Hale. Lost it. It goes beneath the extended goal line. Stanich is on it. Hawks have the man advantage. Let's make that penalty now. The unsportsmanlike penalty pay off. Here's OG coming up the right. Wouldn't that be sweet? Gave it to BJ. BJ in on the right side. Here's Stevens near boards, turning on the sideboards. BJ passing back on the right to Flaherty. Center blue line to Stanich. Passing to the front. Loose in front. They score! Stevens! How about that? How about that? Well, Mr. Arnold, hold your head high as you come across the ice. You got duped. And you pay. Pick up the goal scorer. It might have been Ryan Hale. Oh, BJ, yes. Hale and Stanich assisting on the goal by BJ, and it's 3-2 Blackhawks. Well, Jake set the trap. Arnold took the bait. And then the Hawks gun him alive. The far wing, Salmela misplaying it, getting it, Budaj. Here's Budaj coming up the right. Here's Budaj along the near boards, puts it into the Sioux City zone, but Dallin taking over. Dallin sends one up the left wing and back into the Hawk zone, and on it is Mike Salmela. Falls to his knees. He looks like he can't find his edge. As Switek gets it, his pass at center picked off. There's some banging at the neutral zone. The puck is free at the center circle. Katava giving it to Klesla, puts it in on the right. And the Hawks and Budaj back into behind, giving to Mike Salmela. Now Salmela coming up the left wing. Head manning for Aduno and knocked away by Uncles Bay. This line is a little mismatched right now. Swiatek getting it, passing it out to center to Aduno. It's shot just inside the line, picked off with the stick of Klesla. There's Klesla in the checkered line. A long shot in off the blocker of Nomelin, getting it Teaser. And then Teaser, he took a heavy hit. Took a heavy hit from O'Leary. It's played on the far boards and out to center. Doesn't phase you. You can take the hit. I give him credit. It was a good body check. It wasn't a cheap shot. Teaser, he goes banging into Wallace on the sideboards. And it's sent at the left and all the way back. And the Hawks may very well get an icing call. They won't. They waive it. David Hale sending it up the right. And that pass deflects back into the Hawk zone. Going back to get it, Tommy Galvin. Here's Galvin to back it behind. Coming around to his left. Galvin coming up the left to the backhand. Gave it a head. Almost ran into his own player. Chris Welch retreating, giving it back to Jake Teaser. We have three defensemen. No, we don't. There's a pass into the slot, all alone to the front behind O'Leary. And the Hawks bring it out to center, and the feed ahead for Stevens. Off a stick, sent back the other way. Up the left side, Dallin. Galvin checking him, getting it Wallace. Wallace on the sideboards. Galvin banging him in the corner. Kennedy checking on O'Leary. Wallace putting it in front, closing, and then firing and having it blocked. Was Uncles by out to center. Welch, 1-on-2, had it checked away at the line, follows it on the far boards and dumps it in deep. And it goes back to the behind center round now. And Welch checking on the Wallace outlet, picked off by Oji. Oji far boards. Oji trying to walk through traffic. Can't. Follows though as he got up on a loose puck and then drove it. And goaltender Moreland got a stick on it just at his right. Back the other way, Dowland. He'll take and dump it into the Hawk zone, and Nomelin will deflect it to the corner. 1:42 left in the period. 3-2 the Hawks lead. Along the near boards. Being played near boards. Pavlis with Stanic checking. Arnold in the corner. Oji checking on Arnold. 2-on-2 in the corner. Oji and Arnold. And Arnold falling to his knees as he makes it to beneath the circle. Now Willis checking along with the Flaherty. It's back into behind the net. Flaherty checking on Willis. Some great board work going on by both teams. Arnold on the end board. Oji checking on him. Arnold trying to come away and curl around the front. And Oji was able to knock him down. Flaherty in the end board on Willis. Back into behind the net. Some great board work. Played up the left side. Kept in on the right. Hawks aren't able to clear the zone, but they're not letting him to the front of the net either. Now Oji comes away with it. And then he overskates along the board. Centered towards the front. Don't call a penalty. We saw some great work here. We saw some great board work. And the Hawks are going to be shorthanded. No, Arnold is skating towards the ball. No, let's see. I'm not sure. Arnold is skating towards, he was down, he's getting the penalty. All right. And nonetheless, boy, there was some great board work. Wow. Board work by both teams. I mean, they just worked their fannies off along the boards, and they kept that puck moving too. There was no opportunity to blow the whistle. Glasla and Welch are lined up against each other on the face-off, and they're having words. Puck comes free, getting it down, and he'll shoot it into the zone. Hawks have been outshot 29-13, but they lead 3-2. Back into behind Budaj, leaving it for Kennedy, or make it Stanic up the right to Kennedy. Here's Kennedy, fires a pass to the line, right through, right to the net. Moreland made the save, tries to clear it up on the left. Oh, knocking it down with his glove and overplaying Budaj. And Sioux City coming back. Here's the pass to the net. Fedotenko closing, he scores! A 2-on-2 turned into a 2-on-1, and it started with a giveaway. And Sioux City has tied it at 3 as Fedotenko rips one just under the crossbar on the goaltender Nomelin stick side. No chance on that, no chance when your defense doesn't give you any help. Budaj had a chance to keep the puck in the zone, and in fact had a chance to make something happen. On the face-off at center. That's a short-handed goal, too. That's the 5th of the year for Fedotenko. His 20th overall. Almost Palmosino assisting. They both have 10-game streaks of having scored points. Stevens a drive, a stick save, rebound, inboard. Hale we're down to 7 seconds. Gave it to BJ. Shot, pad, save, rebound. It goes back into behind the net. And it's free behind the net. Time is going to run out. The period expires at 3-3 at the end of 2. And the Hawks should be leading 3-2, except for a misplay, a miscue, starting in the Sioux City end and then again back in their own end. Play is just underway in the third period in a 3-3 game, and then we get a puck that deflects as the Hawks are on the rush. And I looked down, looked up, and heard the whistle, saw the puck deflect high in the air, and I'm going to assume as they bring it back, a two-line pass. 3-3 game after 2 tonight from Young Arena. It was 3-2, and we gave one up with 26 seconds left in the second. Gave up one. On the draw with the Blackhawks. OG winning the face-off to Flaherty, pursued to the front of his net, giving it to the right to Galvin, firing up the right to Ryan Hale. Hale to the line, shot it out the backside of BJ Stevens, and then caused the play to go offside. Oh my goodness, tonight in Des Moines, the Twin Cities Vulcans are feeling the wrath of that Des Moines attack. 9-2, Des Moines after 2. End of 2, Green Bay and Dubuque tied at 4. Dubuque playing very well. Fargo, North Iowa, no score. On the face-off, it's won by the Hawks. 43 seconds left on the power play. In on the left is Galvin. Tommy sideboards, giving back to the left point to BJ Stevens. Flips it towards the net. It's wide of the mark. Pinching on the right. Flaherty going in deep, giving it on the inboard for Hale. It comes free for OG. Now OG, his pass towards the front, deflected and cleared ahead. And Pavlis will clear it on out off of Flaherty, who comes out to center for it. Flaherty giving on the left for Galvin. Now Galvin's pass into the zone, broken up by David Hale's stick. Bucket deflected high in the air. Stevens knocked it down, then he got knocked down. It's played towards the far corner on the inboard. Bry trying to drive it out and does, and that'll about kill it off. Hawks will be 1 for 4 on the power play, and that's what they are as the penalty expires to Lee Arnold. Around the left, passing up the wing to Arnold. Here's Arnold on the left wing, coming ahead to center. Arnold will take and shoot it into the Hawk zone from the inboard. Stanich getting hold of it. Here's Stanich passing up the right. Kennedy's pass at center. That's on the wrong side of Knavely. Broken up and back the other way. Olsgaard driving one wide. On the near wing, Palmosino getting hold of it. Chris Welch. Here's Welch passing up the middle, and Kennedy bringing it to center. Brian Kennedy on the right side into the zone. Drove it off of Dowland. And then Dowland knocked down Kennedy. Played back into behind the net. Palmosino, he'll bring it up the right, giving on the wing. Palmosino to Fedotenko. Fedotenko, and offside on the right is Olsgaard. McCarthy and Kemp, the linesman. Nelson. Ozzie Nelson, the referee. No, Nelson, the referee. Drubb, Aduno, and Fulgham. Teaser and Galvin. On the face-off at center, Bry getting it, putting it in on the right. Teaser going to it. Here's Teaser. Jake back into behind, firing around on the right. And back it comes to the inboard. Tommy Galvin is on it. Here's Galvin. Arnold went flying into Teaser, and Arnold's going to go. Interference on Arnold. What? Called it on Teaser. Arnold went flying into him, for heaven's sakes. Did I see that wrong? Did he not go flying into Teaser? Get a clue. Oh my goodness. Denny Iron, did I see that right? I saw it right. I know I saw it right. Teaser standing on the side of the net. Arnold came flying into him, and they called Teaser for interference. This is as bad as it gets. Here's Fedotenko, right point. This idiot cost us a goal. I'm talking the guy with the orange stripes from the face-off, rather from the point his shot fired. Oh my goodness. Oh, how in the world could he call that a penalty? I am dumbfounded. I am absolutely dumbfounded. If he'd called it the other way, I would have been dumbfounded. It would have been on us. I mean, how in the world can you call that? This guy, I mean, I need to shut up on it, but it was so utterly ridiculous. Teaser didn't move his feet. He stood there, and the guy ran into him because that's the guy who Teaser challenged, and the kid dropped his gloves, and he went for 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike because Jake backed away. Well, this guy was looking, and he went running right at him. I thought, elbow, charge, and then they called interference. Okay, that's a little strange. But they sent Teaser off. Ugh. We've already killed 35 seconds of it, the penalty off. Face off to the right of the Nomeland. Scott Brand ought to get a call on this guy. This guy looks as though he's never reffed. He can skate, that's about it. Dowling, right point. Dowling, center blue line to Kesla, into the far circle to Pavlis. I'm almost ill over that call. It was ridiculous. Here's Dowling. I mean, I got better things to worry about. Terrible. Klesla back in his own end. Rink Whiting for Pavlis. Here's Pavlis coming up the left, just inside the line. Dropped it down low. Lee Arnold going to it. Salmela one-handing him. Off the side of boards, Pavlis. Pavlis giving end board. Center to the front. Dowland came in and got caught with the stick kind of between them. It's kind of a tweener where his stick was. It wasn't on the forehand or the backhand. Couldn't catch it clean. It goes to the corner. Played it to the end board to Lee Arnold. Arnold reversing it back to the near side of Uncle's Bay. Uncle's Bay to Dowland, near boards. Passing to the front, tipped across by Galvin. Good job. Far corner being played by Pavlis, down to 24 seconds on the penalty kill. Oh, it's knocked away. Here's Kennedy trying to break away. Kennedy closing in. Kennedy closing. Oh, he got tripped up. Should be a penalty shot. Perhaps a penalty shot in what was clearly a breakaway. And that's what it is, a penalty shot. Moreland is hurt from the collision as Kennedy was tripped up. From behind, he went colliding, he went flying into the goaltender Moreland, and Moreland is hurt, and I don't like to see that at all. Nobody does. And it could be a penalty shot on a new goaltender because Moreland's on his backside. Let's see what happened to Jake Moreland. He's got a cut, I believe. He might have taken, he's holding a towel to his left jaw. He was cut in the collision. Michael Betts is out on the ice. 3:56 gone here in the third. 3-3 to score. Brian Kennedy is going to get a penalty shot on a new goaltender, Michael Betts, because Moreland was hurt on the collision upon which Kennedy was tripped up going to the net. Kennedy penalty shot at 3:56. At which time Moreland is hurt. Kennedy with a penalty shot. The puck is teed up at the center red line, not unlike a shootout, except it's one chance and for one team. 3-3 game. Michael Betts does not get any warm-ups. He's being talked to by the referee. Here's Kennedy at center. Here he comes. Penalty shot for Brian Kennedy. Betts comes out to get him. Kennedy shoots. He scores! Penalty shot play is in the Hawk zone, and the Musketeers running around a little bit, doing a little head hunting on that rush up the ice. Come down back into the Sioux City zone, and the Hawks are back into full strength as the penalty to Teaser is killed. Play comes back into the Hawks end, pursuing it on the right side. Olsgaard sends it to the front. Oh, put it right into Fedotenko. A shot. He lifted it over the top. It's played for the near side of the net. On the end board, OG checking, and he knocks Olsgaard right into the boards. He shoved him down. We're going to get a penalty on OG. Hawks get possession. Hale tips it out to center. Will be shorthanded. That, yes, was a penalty. Cross-checking on OG at 4:37. And 10 minutes has been slapped on as well. Tom kept arguing it. Tommy, check him. Don't cross-check him. Then you won't get the penalty. And Tom argued a legitimate call, and he gets 10 minutes slapped on, and that's 12 minutes of the 15:23 left. And they need Tom OG on the ice, not in the penalty box for an additional 10. Take it, then go sit down. They're going to boo, but he deserved it. Play down into the Sioux City zone. Here comes Sioux City with a power play for the 6th time tonight, 7th time tonight. Teaser and Olsgaard on the end board. It's worked free to the near corner. Back to the right point to Fedotenko, giving it to the far circle. A drive. Played in the corner end board. Bry up along the far boards. Centered across. Tried to go to the back door, and that was blocked off. Cleared to the point and taken out to center. Given right side to Fedotenko. Ahead of the right to Palmasino. Brought it in, brought it out. Offside. 14:34. Block shots tonight. Tommy Galvin with 6 blocks for the Blackhawks. Wow. Then the Irons keeping stats. That's a good night's work. And the Welch up front on the penalty kill. Dowland will get it, giving it to the left at Palmasino, making Fedotenko. He'll drive it in. Nolan can't slow it down. It continues around from the far side to the near side. Sideboards Dowland. Left point to Fedotenko. He's on the offside now. No, actually, he's on his true side, his strong side. They don't have him on the offside in this power play. Comes back to Fedotenko on the left point, working at the far boards to Pavlis. Here's Pavlis. He's out wrestled by Stanich. Stanich has the puck in the corner. He's got his skates freezing it against the wall. Unklesby reached in. Pavlis reached in with their sticks, trying to work it free. They do. And we've got a whistle, and we're going to get a what now? A penalty call, I believe. A tripping call. With 13:55 left, Lee Arnold's heading for the box. He's gone. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he is, tonight anyway, a terrible referee. He's not even close. He did make the right call in the OG play, though. I'll say that. Tommy deserved it. But most of us should be able to see the obvious. Bry lifts one up off the net. There we are. I mean, it's Arnold who got the penalty, so there's no reason for us to disagree. Generally, you get a trip when somebody falls down. They were all standing. From the draw, David Hale at the red line. He'll send it into the right-hand corner. Back to get it is Budash. Skating even for 8 seconds, and then Hawks will go on the power plays. They break it out. Budash to center. Here's Budash firing high slot, and Moreland deflects it with the heel of a stick up and off the netting. Budash and Bry. They got slapping each other with their sticks. Good people, just a small crowd here this evening. But we've got 3 games this week, and we kind of figured maybe it could happen. Hale from the faceoff, getting the puck and firing. Sent it high. Galvin near boards. Hawks on the power play now. Into the corner for Hale. Hale on the end board. Hale being checked by David Hale. Double team with Stevens getting it. Stevens maneuvering atop the near circle. Center blue line to Galvin. He'll drive it. That one hit traffic and skipped just wide. Betts is in goal now with Moreland injured and out of there. It's cleared down. Puck is on edge. Nolan giving it ahead to Galvin, who was retreating for the puck. Here's Galvin to back into behind his net around to the near side. On the wing for Flaherty, giving to Galvin. Now Galvin long up the right side to Ryan Hale. Hale into the zone. Here's Hale giving to Stevens. Back to Hale in the slot. Closing shot. Oh, and Betts got a piece of that, or did he ever really get it off? Here's Hale giving on the extended goal line. In deep is Kennedy. Kennedy left it in the corner. Played by Stevens. Stevens to Kennedy. Side of the net. Kennedy passing it back. Center. Blue line. They were all right on top of the net. And he threw it back. And it goes all the way back into the Hawks' end. Galvin slowing up Uncle's Bay along the boards as they pursued it. Here's Galvin coming around to the left. 20 seconds remaining. Passed on the left to Stevens. Stevens crossing to his right. Back checking Uncle's Bay to break it up. Uh-oh. 2 on 1 as they turn it back the other way. Ryan Hale hustling back. Here's Uncle's Bay. Closing in. Uncle's Bay slid it right into Nolan. Open net. They score as Nolan went out to the right to stop Uncle's Bay, and the net was left empty, and a follow-up on the rebound, and we're tied at 4. A short-handed goal, and that's the second of the night, because I think Fedotenko's was short-handed. Yes, it was. Grubb at center. Grubb into the zone along the right side, falls along the boards. David Hale able to rub him out. Arnold tried to get it out, gave it, and ahead they come. Catawba got the goal. It's a short-handed goal. Uncle's Bay. Arnold shot, glove save Nolan. As they bring it back the other way, and Nolan having to make a glove save. 11:30 left here in the third until this team stops giving away these cheap goals. And I don't discredit Uncle's Bay or Catawba, just the way the play was started. You're going to have a hard time winning on any kind of a consistent basis, and sometimes at all. Canably on the draw of the Pavlis. Played in the circle. Fulgham will take it. He goes back into behind his net. Left along the side of wall. Hawks trying to clear their own end. Grubb giving to Canably. Here's Canably. We're a resilient bunch, though, I'll say that. Here's Canably. He fires a shot while being knocked off balance on the far circle, wide to the near side, up along the near boards, and forced out by Sioux City, and rink wide at center to Dolan. Chad Dolan dumping it in. I want to call him Ulf Dolan. He used to play with the old Minnesota North Stars, but it's Chad Dolan. I don't know if there's a relation there. Here's Canably coming up the right into the zone. His shot to the net. Betts got a stick on it, deflects it to the corner. Betts replacing the injured Moreland. Now back the other way. Palmasino giving to Fedotenko into the slot. He puts it into the corner. Fedotenko pursuing it. Fedotenko being checked. Walsh got the puck, lost it to the circle. Olsgaard a shot, a stick save made by Moreland. Now Kennedy. Kennedy takes a whack at it. Shots at 35-23. They were 30-16 at one time. And from atop the far circle, Fedotenko hops on a loose puck and fires a shot that Nolan gloves, drops, and a face-off upcoming. 4-4, the score will be back. This is Blackhawks hockey on Q95.3. Oh. Hey, Nolan just made a good pad save. And again, they play it to the net, and Nolan gloving into keeping. 37-23, those shots have jumped up a little bit now. 10:09 left. That means no fisticuffs tonight. You hate to bring it up, but I mean the 10-minute mark is the magic mark in the hockey game. 10-minute mark in the third period. After that, you're gone the next night if you fight. If things hold true to form, what we'll have is a bunch of guys mouthing off at each other and acting tough because they know nobody will fight. From the draw, it's dumped into the Hawk zone. Back into behind the Hawks net. Wallace tried to give it to O'Leary. O'Leary being checked by Teaser along the inboard. Galvin checking on Wallace. Teaser not letting O'Leary budge. Being played beneath the circle towards the corner. Up along the near boards, kept in by Uncles Bay. Side wall, bumping with the Wallace, getting it Welch, moving it ahead on the boards. Klesla shooting to keep it in. It goes back into behind it. Finseth following the puck to the far corner. Here's Finney. Trying to clear his own end. His outlet pass was blocked. It did come out to neutral, came back in, and Wallace was trapped in the zone. He didn't like the call, didn't realize what had happened. He lifted it high in the air, and there, folks, should be an unsportsmanlike or delay of a game. I mean, if you're... And that is exactly what Dave Hagstall is telling him right now. That the referee, for all he's called tonight, he missed one right there. Dave didn't say a whole lot on the bench, but he let Mr. Wallace know. Now Salmola's outlet is picked off. Mike has had a tough time here in the second and third periods. His ice time has showed it too. Given near side to Salmola. Salmola trying to pass. Now, part of it is there's been a lot of power plays and penalty kills, but he's had a tough time his last couple of shifts. There's a pass out at center, almost picked off by Mozak. Getting it, Katava shoots it to the Hawk zone, blocked off at goaltender Nomelin's left by Nate. Gave it to Budash, sent it around to the right for Switek. His pass out to center, goes by the defender. 2-on-2 as they race back into the zone. Port Bry will get there first. Here's Bry with Sean Norm. Port checking, sent up on the right side. Salmola went banging into McCartan and played to the Hawk line and back up on the right for Aduno. Here's Aduno, and Aduno did a little extra, just a little extra shimmy at the line, causing an offside. He should have just brought that baby in. K-N-O-R-R, Nor, as in N-O-R. Get it, same thing tomorrow night. 7:35 face-off tomorrow, airtime at 7:10. No coaches show tomorrow night because of Thanksgiving, well, not just Thanksgiving, but the game as well. No coaches show at Larry's Winning Edge. So Larry, don't bother to wait up. Puck to the net. Betts made a save, crashing the net with Stevens. He got cross-checked and going through the net. Now, where's the penalty on that? Good heavens. Pavlis got knocked down beneath the circle prior to the rush to the net. I'm not quite sure what happened. See, that's the kind of stuff. I believe in protecting your goaltender, and I think Sioux City does it as well as anybody. But when it goes a little beyond, then you're going to blow your whistle. Let's remember OG got a 2-minute minor and then argued and lost. He got 10 more, so he's going to be gone most of this one until a couple minutes are left. Here comes Sioux City and Palmasino. Palmasino trying to cut between the two defenders, and he darn near makes it. Somebody better play the body on the guy in that. They just kind of let him wiggle through. Who wants to do his back? There's no reason that Tyler Palmasino should score between two defenders who have him sandwiched. Stanny and Cullen Flaherty with the two defenders. I know Flaherty was involved. 4-4, boys. Don't give away another cheap one here. Nomelin's played well. Oh, Vincent really tried to lay the body into Hale and just missed him. David Hale in the corner. Stanich has his man pinned. It's poked free. And then Palmasino fell over a stick, and I'm surprised that now there he called a trip, but I'd say, well, I don't agree because he fell over the stick, but at least somebody fell. Here's Flaherty inboard, back into behind. Oldsgaard, he'll give it around to the far side. Hale took a run at Vincent, and he missed Vincent, so they're even. Hard shot out the inboard, and it came hard to the right of Nomelin, and he'll cover it up. 7:18 left in the third, tied at 4. We'll be back. This is Blackhawks hockey and Q95.3. Here come the Hawks and Grubb up the left side. Johnny Grubb into the zone along the left, and Bry is able to wrestle the puck away from him. Takes it back into behind the net. Bry coming around to the right. He'll send it out to center. It comes out the boards and squirts all the way to the far side with a Fulton going back to it in his own end. Hawks from right to left in the third, of course, here at home. Gave it to Salmela. Mike Long, cross-ring pass to center to Knabely. Knabely dropped it at the line. Oh, good heavens, that's not the place to drop it. And Fulton had to go right by him and all the way back into the Hawks end. Knabely there. Center to the front, knocked away by the defenseman, Mike Sommel. He's had a good shift here. Oh, Sommel really leveled the man in front of the net and could have been called for a penalty. Was not. He flattened Wallace with a puck up near the blue line. Up the right side, Kennedy, and Kennedy will take and drive it to the line. It's broken up and sent back the other way, and on it is the Blackhawks Budaj giving near side to Tommy Galvin. Now Galvin coming up the near wing. He had it checked away, and here's Willis in on Budaj. Willis making the shot, moving down through the circle, looking to center, and it's blocked by Budaj at point blank. And back come the Hawks the other way. Kennedy up the left to Switek. Come on, Anthony. Switek into the zone, tried to drag it through the defender. Kennedy tried to follow up. He's taken it wide and into the end board. 5:50 left as the net is knocked off its moorings. 5:50 left in the third, and a 4-4 game will be back. This is Blackhawks hockey at Q95.3. Play is in the Sioux City zone on the end board in a 4-4 game. 5:40 remaining. Sideboards being checked. Hale, he escapes the check of Klesla. There's Hale in the corner. Hale with Klesla checking, taking over is Welch. Welch sending it towards the front, glove down, and played ahead to center. Pass down the right, Fedotenko turning, and he snaps a shot off, and the fires it just wide as he turned Flaherty inside out and got the shot off. Wow. Oh, that was not Cullen's fault at all. That was just some great stick work by Fedotenko. He's good, no question. 5:19 left here in the third in a 4-4 game. From the draw, Stevens winning it to Galvin. Galvin giving it to Teaser. Teaser sending it in on the left. And it comes right back out. It's out at neutral, comes back into the Sioux City zone on the near wing. Bryce sending it across to defensive partner Hale. And he sends one softly up the boards, trying to send it back ahead the other way. Kennedy, and blocked by David Hale. Following up, closing, and shooting right to the net with Nomelin making a save. One of the Musketeers fell on top of a Nomelin. Blackhawks have a couple of power play goals. Here's a shot to the net, right on, save made, rebound around to the right. So they're what is that? The turnover takeaway ratio. Hawks are 0 tonight. Deflected shot, knocked down in front of the net. Clearing pass, picked off. Here's O'Leary, gave it to the front. Wallace somehow got a shot off. Stopped and cleared aside by Nomelin. Up the right side, Hawks are able to clear the zone. 4:30 left. Play has been in their end. We're tied at 4 here in the third. Bride getting hold of it, giving it ahead to O'Leary. Put it to the Hawks line. Teaser passing out to center. David Hale has it. Hale to the red line. He'll drive it into the Hawks end. Back into behind the net. Getting to it. Teaser. Teaser around to his right. Here's Teaser passing up the right. For Kennedy. Too long. And from the red line, it's driven in by Dowland. Nomelin will block it off the end board at his right. Gave it to Galvin. Sends it around to the left. Trying to keep it in. Judy hasn't seen much playing time here tonight. Put it back into behind the Hawks net. Kennedy sending it around to the right. Kept in from the left. A shot that hit the fallen Galvin and goes to the end board. Teaser checking on his man. It's passed back to the blue line. Dowland has it. He'll put it to the corner. On the corner, Catawba. It goes along the end board. Teaser holds off Catawba. Play to the right. Galvin up into his man. The Hawks break it away. Here's Grubb on the right, and the Hawks are changing. Grubb in on the right side. Johnny Grubb a shot. A stick save made by Betts, and that one deflected off the netting back up and over behind the net. 3:36 left in a 4-4 game. 38-25 the saves. 4-4 the score, I should say the shots. 38 for Sioux City, 25 for the Blackhawks. Now the play in the far corner up along the boards, cleared out to center, blocked by Stanich. Loose at neutral ice, he'll take and shoot it in to the zone atop the far circle, cleared out by the defense. David and Ryan Hale battling as they come to center. It's put into the Blackhawks zone, and Flaherty going back to retrieve it. Flaherty with the Fedotenko banging him. Stanich checks his man. It comes to the front. Flaherty has it. Headman's to Hale. Here's Ryan coming up the left side. Ryan Hale into the zone. Crossing and offside of the Hawks and Welch. OG's penalty time is up. 3:05 left here in the third. We're even at 4. To come around asking for the 3 stars. Hardy. Now the puck comes back into the Hawks end. Stanich going back to get it. Icing call on Sioux City. 2:55 left here in the third period in a 4-4 game. Not including myself. I said 2 experts. Arnold on the draw along with Unclesbay. The goaltender Betts is left. On the inboard, Dowland sending it around to the right. Kataba able to get it away. That Kataba's a good player. He gives it to Unclesbay. I like him and Pavlis. I really do. They're just, they're my kind of player. They really work hard. They're like Chris Welch and Jimmy Murphy. I think Jimmy... Oh, and brought a shot! Normal in the save at point blank on a centering pass on the inboard. O'Leary bombed one right at point blank range, and Nolan came up with a dandy save. Quite honestly, I don't know if it was with the glove or the pad. It was such close range, and yet there was room to shoot. And Nolan made a dandy save. That right there is a game saver. From the draw, the puck is left in the circle, getting it Chris Welch. Here's Welch coming up the left wing. Welch ahead to center. Here's Welch in along the wall. Welch near edge of the circle, takes a shot right on a rebound. It's loose at the near side, losing his stick, Stevens, and that allows Sioux City to bring it out on the right. Klesla to center. Klesla coming to the line. He'll take and dump it in. It goes back in behind the net. Now on the inboard centering, and they attempt to do so. Stevens cut it off, gets it on the left to Welch. Come on, boys, here we go. Long pass up the right to Kennedy, trying to get around Hale, and David Hale, a good play to knock him down right into the boards. David Hale's a good-looking player. Dumped into the Sioux City zone. Bry getting hold of it. He's not out of place on this big ice either, because he's a big boy. A lot of times those bigger defensemen have a tougher time in here, but he really plays well in here. 1:45 left in regulation. We're even at 4. Hole taking that final, getting upended right into the Sioux City goaltender. From the drop, won by Sioux City, back to the behind, coming around to the near side in the corner, trying to come up the wing is Bry. Mark Bry at center, gave it ahead on the right wing, brought in along the wall by Fedotenko, snaps a shot. Oh, a good stick save by Nomeland. Down the far boards, being played to the edge of the circle. OG losing it. It's in the circle. Here's a shot. Nomeland stick save. Arnold is on the puck. Got to contain him. Arnold banged to the boards in the corner. Stanich got a piece of him. Back to the behind. Flaherty checks. Puck comes free for OG. OG flipping it off the glass and out to center and all the way back into the Sioux City end. And goaltender Betts stopping for Dowland, passing up the left. Down to 1 minute here in the third period. 4-4 game. Into the zone. Teaser will go back to get it in his own end as Sioux City is changing. Teaser passing up the right wing behind the intended receiver, Stevens. And back to get it on the icing is Judy. Wanted to do that all night. Who did the Judy? Was OG for the draw. Palmacino wins it as he kicks it back to the point. Look to the corner, back into behind. Flaherty getting to it, sending it around the near. Oh, it's picked off on the inboard, sent it towards the front. It goes all the way to the far boards. Down on the left point man, keeping it in. To the corner, Palmacino, put it beneath the circle. Back into behind the net, getting to it, Ryan Hale. Good job by Flaherty and Stanich on defense on that series there. Here's Hale, can't clear. It was blocked, kept in. Palmacino sends it wide of the net, back into behind it goals. You got to clear one zone at a time. To the front, a deflection into the far circle. And Dowlin just inside the blue line with 10 seconds left. Put to the corner by Fedotenko. Fedotenko and OG doing a little bit of fencing. Pencil right fence with him. Don't let him shoot. Oh, it comes to the front. Tipped. It's wide. Play to the side of the net. Time has run out. We're going to overtime. They had a shot at it. The Hawks unable to clear their own zone, and really it was their own doing. All you've got to do is clear the zone, get it out to center, one zone at a time, and we did it in 12-11. We're headed for overtime, and here we go. 5-minute overtime session for the faceoff. Judy has it taken away and put into the zone by Finseth. They'll race forward to the end board, back to the behind is Dowlin. Here's Dowlin coming around to the right for Sioux City. He'll bank it off the glass out to center and into the Hawk zone, and Olsgaard is going after it. Stanich pursuing him, back to behind the net. Stanich tying up Olsgaard as they go into the corner. Joining in Palmasino and OG as well. Face-off coming up to the right of Nate Nomeland. 4:34, 5-minute sudden death. On the draw, the puck into the corner. Galvin with the Wallace checking. Wallace putting it into the slot. Backhanding, fanning O'Leary. It's loose and picked up by Stevens. He'll throw it off the glass and out to center. We haven't been spending much time. The ice has been tilted here for a while. David Hale firing hard off the glass back into the Hawks end all the way to the net. Nomeland will play it aside and Galvin around to the right. Here's Galvin sending it up the boards for Kennedy, and Kennedy will put it into the zone. Back into behind Klesla on it. Checking Welch, able to force it away on the near boards. Welch crossing into the high slot, turns, drives it off the blocking Dowlin. Now it's played on the far side, just inside the line in the Sioux City zone. And taking it Dowlin. Here's Dowlin spinning, turning, sends it up the left and falling on his own, taking a wicked drop to the ice with Stanich. His backside hurts and his pride, I think, is hurt a little bit too. He looked like a top on his own and just boom, fell. His edge must have grabbed something. 4-4 face off on the Sioux City end. Put a few shots on. Off the draw, Hale getting it. Hale giving left side into the skates of Flaherty. He has to backhand just to keep it in. Ryan trying to get to it. Getting to it was Finseth. Benny turning as he reverses, gives it to Hale. He's checked and forced out near the blue line and up the right side. And here comes Fedotenko. 2-on-1 closing. Fedotenko closing, shoots. He fired it high off the glass. Arnold on the far side has it. Here's Arnold turning, sending it along the boards to Fedotenko. Gave it into the slot. Turning, giving, and it came off of Bry. Goes back into behind eventually. But give away, and it's fired wide, and the Hawks are running around in their own zone. The best thing they can do is get it out of there. They do. Here's Bry at the checkered line. He'll take turns to fire it in. It's blocked by Hale. Flaherty has it. Gives it up the right to Finseth. Now Finney in along the wing. Here's Finseth. And he's upended. And there's no call. Overtime, so we put the book away. Of course, I don't know. I don't want to read his book. Almost forced away by Welch for a breakaway from the blue line in, and he fell over the stick of Bry, who almost copped it up to him. Now Kennedy from center will take and drive it in, back into behind the net. Played around to the right, we're in overtime at a 4-4 game. Clearing attempt kept in by Welch, sends it towards the front, and it's cleared out of there by Bry, who sends it down. Teaser going back for what will be icing. And a face-off in the Sioux City end. 2:19 left in overtime, 4-4 the score. Through like getting ready for a draw, went right to the bench. The weirdest thing. Now Palmasino is chased. Fedotenko will come in to draw off with OG. On the draw, the puck in the circle. It comes to the near boards. Sioux City gets it. They'll carry it out on the right. Back behind the play, Fedotenko and OG. Those two are swatting at each other. OG wants Fedotenko. Now they'll just mouth. Penalties behind the play. Not a bad idea. That's what they did. Very similar. If indeed that was done with a purpose. I'd like to think it was. Now the play is in the Hawk zone. A goaltender, Nomeland's right. Head on the wing with Welch trying to clear it up the right. Does to Kennedy. Runs into a defender. The line fights through the check and then send a pass across, and they can't save it at the blue line. The flow was to the right and the pass came to the left. Teaser had to come way over. Comes out to center, dumps it in. The Hawks get onside. Judy passing up the left to Wallace. Now Wallace leads the pass at center. He spotted it. In on the right, Uncles Bay. Uncles Bay, right corner, end board. Uncles Bay skated off in behind. Wallace reaching forward. Hawks get it. Lose it. Vincent had it. Got it back on the sideboards. Passes out to Hale on the left down to 118 in overtime at a 4-4 game. Hale screen shot. High shot, gloved and kept. Chrisley and Stevens for the draw. Off the draw, the puck goes into the corner. David Hale will get to it. Gave it on the end board. Stevens with Kataba battling for it. BJ trying to come off that end board. It's sent ahead on the boards. Here comes Sioux City on the rush up the right side. Put into the Hawk zone. Arnold racing for it. Stanich going back, and Arnold down to 53 seconds in overtime. Just keep that puck on the boards. Worked free by Catawba. Sent it around and behind to the far side. He got banged by Stanich. Vincent and the Hawks break it out 3-on-3 with the pursuit catching up. Vincent then on the right along the boards. Left it on the sideboards at the circle. Stevens in the corner. He's battling along with, who is it? Bry, I believe. And they freeze it there. Face off now in the Sioux City zone. 32 seconds left here in overtime in a 4-4 game. Uncles Bay and Stevens. Uncles Bay wins the draw. Dowland firing up the left. It's caught clean. 2-on-3 to center up the left side. Stanich trying to keep Arnold wide. Hale keeps his man, Uncles Bay, wide. Down to 20 seconds. Played on the far boards. And put out to center by Stanich. They got to go back and get it. Welch trying to split the two defenders. Welch is upended. No call. It's overtime. Sent up the right. Catawba racing for a puck. 5 seconds left. Stanich in the end board with the Catawba. We're headed for a shootout. Arnold on the end board check, getting it. Stevens. I know I'm with Coach Pionk and Brian Meisner a lot of time. I spent a lot of time with them. With Petatenko will start for Sioux City. Here we go. Petatenko in a shootout. Coming into the zone. Petatenko into the zone. Ryan closing, shoots. Oh, he was either stopped or shot it high and wide. Betts looked like he might have gotten the tip of it with his glove. As a teed up at center, here he comes. Across the blue line, closing in. Pavlis closing. Oh, a weak backhander. It was a dribbler wide. BJ Stevens will shoot for one. From his own blue line, gets a running start. Stevens into the zone. Stevens closing. Backhands it wide. Here's Palmasino coming into the zone. Noblin coming out to get him. Palmasino closing. Good pad save. Noblin with a good pad save on Palmasino. Got his left pad on it. The former defenseman who was in town at the time said, I'd love to see a defenseman in the shootout. Here's Galvin. Shoots. He scored! Galvin went up top. And blew it by Betts. Olsgaard from center. Fourth shooter for Sioux City. Olsgaard closing, shoots. Noblin, great save on Olsgaard. He tried to go 5-hole, and Nate squeezed the pads and stopped him. The Hawks can win it here. Johnny Grubb is on. Here comes Johnny Grubb to try and win it. Johnny Grubb can win it here. Here's Grubber. Into the zone, Johnny Grubb shoots. Oh, he shot it high and wide off the glass, and so one more chance for Sioux City. Here comes Uncles Bay. Uncles Bay closing, shoots. He shot it wide. Hawks win. Hawks win. The Hawks get the 2 points tonight. Sioux City gets 1. postgame show is coming up from Young Arena, where the Blackhawks win tonight in the shootout 5-4. 4-4 tie in the books as far as 1 point each. The additional point goes to the Blackhawks. We'll be back with the Blackhawks postgame show. You're listening to Waterloo Blackhawks hockey at Q95.3.
By Altel, the number 3 star from Sioux City.